I was asked to give a closing remarks. I don't know what to say.
Vecchio, adesso
I actually said quite a bit
no, io
what
scrivo
I
vecchio.
would like to say during the
E non l'ho
discussion.
scritto io.
So first of all, I would like to thank the organizers to start this kind of discussions in Europe. I think it's extremely important. We have similar workshops in China in the last 5 years. And of course, we have a number of, quite a number of participants from Europe, Japan, and the United States. But really having it here in Europe, I think it's really a great start. And we hope that we can continue these kind of workshops in the future in different places in Europe. I think this kind of input is very important, and it's not only just refine our designs, makes our, say, accelerator and detector looks more reasonable and much better and so on, but also it is very important that we know we have such kind of a large group of people interested in this kind of physics, and also gradually we can increase, enlarge this group, and this is very important. Without this kind of, say, format, I think it's not going to grow to a community that we need for such a large project. Secondly, a lot of people question about what is the, say, the roadmap to get the Chinese project approved. Of course, we cannot guarantee the project can be approved, as everybody can imagine. And of course, also a lot of people had a doubt that this kind of a large project can ever be approved in China. And indeed, we never had such a larger scale of science project ever in China, because similar projects in the past are typically a factor of 10 smaller. So we actually are making big adventures. And a few years ago, we had even difficulty to figure out what is the procedure to get it approved, because nobody knows how to do that, because every government funding agencies tell us that this is not their business, because this is way beyond their budget, and they just don't know how to do it. And you really have to go to the top, say the #1 of the country, to get approval. Otherwise, because everybody else say this is not my business, I cannot do it. Fortunately, I think the situation has been changed over the last few years. So this year, the government actually issued documentation about the procedures how to get large international projects initiated in China to be organized. And this is actually a very bold move. It shows that now we don't have to go to the funding agency. We don't have the problem as just mentioned before. Now we do have funding agency who knows that it is their responsibility, which is the Ministry of Science and Technology. So they are actually now organizing this kind of effort. So I think starting from now up to probably end of the year, they are going to organize a committee, try to call for proposals, and they try to select projects. That means that we have the probability to actually be selected by Ministry of Science and Technology to be, say, one of the first China-initiated large science project. And this is actually a very natural move for China, because what I heard from the Ministry of Science and Technology is that they have been participating in ITER in the last, say, 10 years with quite a bit of contributions, very large. And they believe this is interesting, and they believe this is good. In contrast to many other countries, they believe the ITER is a kind of not a great success. A lot of countries had some doubt. But China, in the end, with all this exercise, I believe it's a great move, and a lot of technologies and science and also people, we got the benefit. So they believe if we can have a China initiated large science project, we could get even more benefit than, say, ITER kind of project. So I think this is a move that China is determined to go. I think the key question in the end is which one. Of course, there are many proposals right now. What I heard is roughly 50 proposals. So we had to compete with others, and this is our task in the next, say, a year or two. Try to be selected into a short list, and then after short list, we hope we can be selected as the project to be constructed. Probably by end of say 2025, 2030, there will be few, 1, 2, 3 kind of project be selected to build. So I think we have chance. The chance is not 100% for sure, but chance is also not zero. So I think we should just try, and we need help. As I just said, this is China initiated large international projects. So without international participation, our chance is zero. So we need your help, and we need these kind of workshops, and we need also people and also expertise and so on. So we hope that with this kind of workshop, we can build up our community, build up our collaboration, and we hope that in the next 2, 3, 5 years, we can make a big progress and enter into whatever the short list or even shorter list, and then in the end be built. Thank you.